I'm not suggesting that you need to have the mind-reading abilities of Derren Brown, but wouldn't it be really useful to be able to read more accurately what's going on with the interviewer in your next job interviews so that you get a better result from those interactions and ultimately you get a better result from your job search? In this short video, we're going to go through 4 core ideas which I think are going to help you acquire the skill of really knowing what's going on with the other person. And this, of course, is a skill which is useful not only for job interviews, but also life more broadly. Hello, my name is Stephen Wright. I'm a career coach here at Career Mentor, and we help high-performing financial services professionals make their next smart career move. So there's 4 ideas. Let's get straight into them with the first idea, which is the notion that this is a difficult thing to do, but it's a very achievable thing to do, and it's certainly worthwhile. During a job interview, there's a lot going on. Of course, you're listening very carefully to what the job interviewer is saying, thinking carefully about the questions that they're asking, trying to understand what lies behind that question, formulating your answer with the appropriate examples of your experiences, and then delivering those answers in a really impactful manner. And of course, that leaves little headspace to really be present with the interviewer, notice what's going on with them so that you can really have that impact and perhaps change your approach if necessary. So this is tricky, but it's also something that is really worthwhile because then you can have more impact in those job interviews. The second point is more of a guiding principle. And this is that I think it's a worthwhile idea to take 100% responsibility for any interaction that you have with somebody else. Now, of course, you might think, well, hang on a minute, there are 2 people. I'll take 50%, the other person can take 50%, that'll be fine. But actually, if one decides to take 100% responsibility for the interaction that you have with anybody else, for the outcome that's achieved in that interaction, then it's a very empowering thing. So that's just a guideline which I think you might find to be a useful thought. The third thing is the notion of sensory acuity. Now, sensory acuity is really becoming acutely aware of what's happening with the other person. So you can look carefully at what's happening about the tension that they have around their eyes perhaps, the way in which they use their facial expressions, their blink rate, their level of eye contact, how much they're smiling or not, how they move their head around, any hand gestures that they might have, whether they're leaning forward or whether they're leaning backwards. And so you can see what's going on and create a baseline, if you like, of what's really going on with that other person. That then enables you to calibrate the situation, because once you've got that baseline, you can spot any changes that there might be for positive or negative. And that leads us in to the next point, which is about course correction. So in the Game of Thrones TV show, I'm not sure if you saw that, there is a guy called Tyrion who is an outstanding communicator. And one of the reasons why he's so good at communicating with people is that he's very observant about what's going on with the other person in a conversation. And as he's offering thoughts and ideas and things in that conversation, he's watching what the impact is. Having established that there's some kind of a baseline, he's then able to read the reaction that he's getting and therefore change his approach if it's not the reaction, if he's not having the impact that he wants to have. And he's happy to keep changing that approach until eventually he unlocks the situation and gets the result that he's looking for. So in a job interview, perhaps, we can think about watching carefully what's happening with the other person, seeing what the impact of what you're saying is, seeing if you think that that looks positive, the person's smiling, they're leaning forward, they're nodding, they may be even saying, yes, that's really interesting. Or perhaps something changes as you add another example. And so that then says, okay, well, that is not really working very well. I can change my approach. I can give another example. I can get out of the rabbit hole that I've found myself in and then carry on and talking about the actual point of the question being asked. So you can keep changing approach until you have the impact that you're looking for. So the final point is, well, how do I acquire this skill? And the answer is to practice. Practice switching on your sensory acuity, becoming acutely aware of what is happening with the other person in any interaction with anybody, be it at work or at home or with friends or whatever, so that you become more observant, more able to calibrate what's going on, and therefore more able to change your approach until you have a better outcome for that interaction. This, of course, is work that we do during my career coaching programs, my job transition programs. So if you want to learn more about this, or indeed you just want to have a chat about what's going on with your career at the moment, please do feel free to reach out. All my contact details are in the contact section at the top of my LinkedIn profile, and I'd be very happy to have a conversation with you. That would be a great idea. Finally, if you're watching this on YouTube, we're trying to get that YouTube channel off the ground. So if you are watching on YouTube, then please do feel free to like this, subscribe to the channel if you want to, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I'll be putting the blog that I wrote about this in the comments below, and thanks very much.